Hi, this is Kevin Deal from Upscale Audio, and today we're going to talk about, I was going to talk about Lumin, but I'm not going to talk about Lumin. I want to talk about the greatest rock and roll song of all time, because we were getting this ready, and then I started wandering around on my iPad with the Lumin app and with the Rune app, and I go, what is the greatest song of all time? So I asked the videographer, the guy behind the camera, Mr. 420 dude, and he said the greatest rock song of all time is Imagine Dragons' Thunder. And I'm like, what is that? Feel the thunder, lightning and the thunder. Well, that's a no, Mr. Camera Guy. So what do you guys think? And I'm thinking, okay, I wonder if they can guess what I think the greatest rock song is. So this is what we're going to do. I want you to put down what you think the greatest rock song of all time is, and I'm going to look at the comment section, and the person that guesses what I think it is, I'm going to send them a free t-shirt. Now, there's too many songs out there. Well, first of all, I'm going to get pissed off at somebody, because someone's going to say the greatest rock song is like Rod Stewart's Hot Legs or Feels Like the First Time, and no, those are fine songs, but that's not the greatest rock song. We're going to narrow it down. Greatest rock song was done by a band with the initials LZ. And then I'm going to give you another tip, a hint. You're going to argue with me that that's not even a rock and roll song because it's got too much blues in it. There is your hint. Now you tell me what you think. Now let's go on to the Lumin T2. Before I get into the Lumin, I got to say something to you. I have a lot of customers that have got a lot of CDs, and they are also not into computer stuff, and they just don't want to broach this subject. And I got to say something to you guys. I know you got a whole bunch of CDs. I know you want to get a new CD player. CD players are on their way out. A lot of manufacturers have stopped making them because the transport mechanisms today are dog shit. And they can't get good ones, they can't make them work right. Some companies are doing okay with it, but a lot of companies are not. And we'll always tell you the truth about the ones that break. But the other thing is this, you are missing out on so much music. If you're not paying 20 bucks a month to stream Tidal, or if you want to get high-res files from Qobuz, streaming music now exceeds the sound quality of compact disc. That's what you need to know. So it's going to give your system a big bump in performance. A big bump in performance, number one. Number two, you're going to get music that you never even knew existed. Music that you forgot about from back when you were 16. What's it going to be like to feel like you're 16 again? Or to explore new things. My wife and I, Miss Laura, we lay in bed and I get out my Rune thing and I'm like, oh my God, let's go here, let's go there. It is an absolute hoot. And you don't even have to get up off your derriere. That's the biggest joy. Who wants to go and deal with that, loading discs and, okay, I like 3 songs, go put it in a... Forget that stuff. Now, if you're going to be streaming, first of all, I want to talk about Lumin. You guys know that I like the idea of getting the top 5% of performance without spending the top 5% money. I preach that gospel all the time. I talk about it with Prima Luna Electronics. I talk about it with a lot of the things that we sell here. And there are digital to analog converters, and there are streamers that you can buy for $50,000 on up. And I'm going to tell you something very, very clearly. Those products are going to be for guys that have a little bit more money than sense. And that's okay. If they want to spend that kind of jack, God bless them. The beauty of Lumin is, they are renowned for making some of the best digital to analog converters in the industry. But more important, they make the best streamers. If you've got a badass digital to analog converter now, if you've got a really good one and you don't want to get rid of it, but you want to bump up your performance, buy a Lumin streamer, like the U1 or U1 Mini. I mean, the streaming portion of this equation is critically important, and I'm going to tell you, I was not a believer myself until I started making my own comparisons. Some people get into computers and they'll do this. They'll get their computer, they'll use it for streaming, then they will use a reclocking device, and then they will use a galvanic isolator, and then they're going to use a $500 or even a $5,000 cable to hook it up. And for what? It is still not going to perform as well as a Lumin streamer by itself. Now the idea of getting rid of all that other stuff and the expensive cable and getting it built in absolutely makes sense. It is now all in one box, and you're going to be able to stream all these different services. Qobuz, high-res files. You guys got to get hip to this. That is the future of high-definition audio. Tidal with MQA and Tidal Masters. It's going to be something that you're going to forget about those compact discs. All of these different services are going to be at your fingertips, and you're going to get a big bump in performance. You're going to be able to take a hard drive and plug it into the back, or you're going to be able to use a NAS and set up a network. And if you don't know about this stuff, I don't want you to stress, because I know there's so many of you out there that are not computer savvy. The employees here are not on commission. They're not. So if you need technical support, we're going to help you through it. We've done it. We do it every day. And they're not going to be chasing their next sale. I mean, that's the difference at buying this kind of stuff at Upscale Audio. So the Lumin T2 gives you a big, big bite out of the unbelievable Lumin X1. The $14,000 X1, that is God to so many people that love network music players. It is the one, and the reason is musicality. Now, we saw also at the lower end, the little Lumin D2. The D2 is like the giant killer. I know that there's some of you that are aware of a little streamer that we sell here for around $500 that has MQA built into it, and you can plug it in. And it's a great product, and if that's all the jack you've got, God bless you, go for it, and then we'll help you to upgrade later. You can always trade it back in. But you cannot take that streamer and then plug it into a real high quality DAC and expect to get the same kind of performance from a Lumin streamer going into a Lumin DAC without all the baloney in between the two products. When you are able to build it into one box, there's a lot of tricks that you can do to increase musicality and drop the noise floor. And that is where Lumin rules. I want to say something else about this. Lumin has over-the-air upgrades for the streamer. So as new things come out, as they come up with improvements, you're not going to have to worry about having to mess with things and plugging in a chip or any of that stuff. Over the air, baby. You're going to notice something. There's no little antennas on the back of this. So what's that about? Lumin does not believe in having antennas on the back and picking up all that junk. They hook up with an Ethernet cable. Now, you may not have an Ethernet cable going to your sound room. It's not a problem. For $25, you can get a really cool little box, and it will work off it with your Wi-Fi router. And the beauty of that is it's going to be segregated from this box, even if it's just a foot away. It's going to be helpful in dropping that noise floor, and that is a superior way to go. The T2 is built in a chassis that is in between the D2 and the X1. If you look at the X1, it's really a crazy product because it's made out of a solid piece of billet aluminum, all machined out inside. Very, very expensive to manufacture. The D2, on the other hand, is an aluminum face, but it is a steel chassis over the top. This one is in between in that it's very, very, very heavy metal, aluminum chassis rather, but it is not all machined inside the way that the X1 is. But still, I mean, this thing is like, this is real. This is the real beef. And you're also going to know, I'd like to show you the back end of it, and I cannot, and I'll tell you why, or not easily, because there's an overhang. They extrude the aluminum past where the terminations are for the XLR terminations, RCA and all that, because again, they want to offer additional shielding. Everything here is about performance. It is fully balanced, and I mean it, fully balanced. So for you folks that have fully balanced systems, boom, you're going to be rocking. If you don't have fully balanced, then it's got RCA jacks out. It uses the ESS Sabre Pro chipset, but that's not the big deal. You know, chips are fine, but it's the implementation and the engineering around the chips. It's the fact that this is a dual mono product all the way to the power supply. That is what I'm talking about. Now, I talked about the streaming circuitry in this, borrowing a lot of the engineering of their new flagship X1. It also shares a lot of the upsampling features. It will play back DSD files to 512 kilohertz, PCM files up to 384. It'll upsample to 128 and 384, so it is badass in that way. Let's talk about the app. The Lumin app is very, very stable. When you first get it, you're going to go, oh, wait a minute, it seems just a little bit foreign. But after 2 days of just playing around with it, you're going to realize something. They were very smart in the way they designed the app because it takes fewer keystrokes to get to where you want to go. So I love it, and it's stable, it works well. Some products from other manufacturers that we were going to carry at Upscale Audio, they are a disaster. Not so with Lumin. It is also Roon compatible, and I love Roon. That's what I use at home. It's worth it. You can pay Roon a monthly fee, or you can buy a lifetime license from them. And the cool thing about that is it will manage all of your music throughout your household. But not just that, it gives you reviews, and it gives you lyrics, and it allows you to just kind of wander off into the music la-la land. I love the T2. I love the idea that at $4,500, you're going to get something that is going to take care of all of your digital needs in your system, that is built to last a lifetime, that is super, super flexible and super high performance. I want you to know something. We'll trade in your old digital stuff. We'll trade in anything, well, not anything. We'll trade in just about anything that you might have. We have 12-month no interest financing. We always guarantee the best price. Most important is we guarantee the best service after the sale, and you need that when you're buying something like this unless you're one of those computer nerds. So I want you to come to our beautiful 10,000 square foot store or give us a call, go to our website. Listen, I promise you at Upscale Audio, we're going to treat your system like it's ours. Thanks.